We remember the space race as a race for glory, a monumental quest for scientific achievement and national pride. But what if it was really a race for control? What if the very rockets that carried astronauts towards the heavens also carried the hopes, fears, and secrets of a world teetering on the edge of nuclear war? This is the story they never taught you in school, the hidden mission behind America's greatest leap. It all began on a crisp October day in 1957. A tiny beeping metal sphere, no bigger than a beach ball, was launched into orbit by the Soviet Union. Its name was Sputnik, and its incessant, rhythmic signal sent a shockwave of terror across America. The message was clear. If they could launch a satellite, they could launch a warhead. The United States had to respond, and it had to be fast. But this response wouldn't just be about science, it would be about strategy. The pressure was immense. President Eisenhower, a decorated general who understood the stakes better than anyone, knew that America couldn't afford to lose this high-stakes game. In the frantic months that followed, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, ASA, was born. Publicly, it was presented as a civilian agency, a beacon of peaceful exploration dedicated to pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. But behind the scenes, a different story was unfolding. NASA shared its roots, its engineers, and its objectives with the military's secret space divisions. This partnership created a gray area, a blurred line between exploration and espionage, where every scientific endeavor had a potential military application. The race to the stars had begun, but its true destination was shrouded in secrecy. Then, in 1961, a new, charismatic leader stepped onto the world stage. President John F. Kennedy, with his youthful vigor and soaring rhetoric, captured the imagination of a nation. In a historic address to Congress, he issued a bold challenge to land a man on the moon and return him safely to the Earth before the decade was out. His words, "We choose to go to the moon," became an anthem for a generation, a symbol of American ambition and ingenuity. Millions were inspired by this grand vision of peaceful exploration. But behind the poetic speeches and public enthusiasm lay another, far more pragmatic mission. Declassified documents would later reveal a covert military concept known as Project Horizon. This wasn't a plan for a scientific outpost. It was a blueprint for a manned military base on the moon. The objective was starkly strategic: to ensure no enemy, namely the Soviet Union, could claim the lunar surface first and use it as a strategic high ground. In the cold logic of the Cold War, the moon was seen as the ultimate vantage point, a celestial fortress from which to monitor and potentially control the Earth below. It was a new frontier, not just for science, but for defense in the vast, silent battlefield of the sky. Throughout the turbulent 1960s, as the nation rallied behind the Apollo program, a parallel, hidden technological revolution was underway. The public saw gleaming rockets and heroic astronauts. But many of NASA's greatest achievements were built on a military foundation. The powerful Saturn V rockets, designed to lift astronauts towards the moon, evolved directly from ballistic missile technology developed to carry nuclear warheads, while the smiling faces of the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo crews graced the covers of magazines. Unmanned satellites were being launched in secret, their cameras silently mapping Soviet military installations from the darkness of space. These were the Corona, Argon, and Lanyard program spy satellites that provided the Pentagon with unprecedented intelligence. Every launch, every mission, effectively carried two stories. There was the one told to the public, a tale of courage and discovery, and then there was the one meant for the Pentagon, a stream of classified data, images, and signals intelligence. The astronauts were the face of the space race, but the silent, orbiting eyes of spy satellites were its hidden backbone, shaping geopolitical strategy with every orbit. By July of 1969, the impossible had been achieved. As Neil Armstrong took his one small step, the world held its breath. America had won the race to the moon. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph, a testament to human determination. But even as millions watched the grainy, black-and-white television broadcast, rumors were spreading among insiders and intelligence analysts. There were whispers of a hidden objective, a shadow mission embedded within the celebrated Apollo experiments. Some of the scientific packages left on the lunar surface were not just for measuring moonquakes or analyzing solar wind. They were also allegedly testing deep space communication and reconnaissance systems. The technologies needed to transmit data from the moon back to Earth were the same technologies that could be used to relay intelligence from next-generation spy satellites stationed far beyond the reach of Soviet anti-satellite weapons. The world saw a flag planted on the moon, a symbol of peace for all mankind. But behind the broadcast, a different kind of data was flowing, signals and telemetry that would shape the future of military surveillance and secure America's strategic dominance for decades to come. So, when we look back at those iconic images of rockets and moonwalks, we see more than just a contest of science. The space race was a battle of secrets. A high-stakes chess match played out on a cosmic scale. It was a new kind of frontier, where the noble pursuit of exploration met the cold, hard realities of strategy, and every groundbreaking discovery carried a hidden purpose. The real mission wasn't just to explore space, it was to control it. And in doing so, to secure the future of a world living under the shadow of the bomb. History's greatest moments often have more than one story to tell. If you believe they deserve a second look, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.